What is going on, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Badass Records Podcast. I am thrilled to let you know that this week's guest is none other than Ella Gantz of Perry Farm to Fork out in Perry, Kansas. They're at 605 Cedar Street, 785-379-3650. You can find them on Facebook. You can email them at perryfarmtofork@gmail.com. And this was the fourth, I believe, episode I have recorded on site, aka outside of the studio here. It was lovely, and I can't thank Ella enough for having me out to her spot. We did, however, set up betwixt a couple of stand-up refrigeration coolers, one of which was right behind my mic and kicked on very often. So there's a buzz, and then there's a loud buzz intermittently across the episode. So we did our best to speak over it, but it is still there. So if it's annoying, I apologize. Perry Farm to Fork is open Tuesday through Sunday. You got to check their stuff out for the specific hours on those days. Great conversation, though. Fifth generation farming family. You got to support local farmers if and when it is within your means to do so. And if you want to support this thing, badassrecordspodcast.com is the website. badassrecordspodcast@gmail.com is the way to get in touch with me. You can subscribe on YouTube or where you stream/download your music and podcasts. And if you want to keep tabs on the socials, they are Twitter and Instagram. Very thankful for all the support I get for the show. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy it. This will be, so that's me, that's you. I think this will be episode 146 of Badass Records Podcast. Ella Gantz, thank you so much for having me out.
Thanks.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And we are sitting in Perry Farm to Fork.
That's correct.
605 Cedar Street, Perry, Kansas, 66073. Perry Farm to Fork @gmail.com. 785-379-3650 is the number I saw listed. You're open evenings Tuesday through Thursday, 10 to 7 Friday, Saturday, and then noon to 4 Sunday.
Yep.
And then everybody gets a day off on Monday, right?
Yep.
So this place, as you mentioned, is a month-ish old.
Yep, June 28th.
June 28th. Congratulations on getting open.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We've added a lot of new stuff since our very start. So if you came in the very first day to now, it would look completely different.
Nice. So this is a place for local farmers and ranchers to sell farm fresh goods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you and your two sisters, Emma Jenks, Morgan Gleason, and Ella Gantz.
Yep.
3 sisters born and raised in Perry that are 5th generation.
Yeah.
My kids I don't think they've ever seen me packing. Like, they came home with suitcases and duffel bags and opened the door to the kitchen, and all of this stuff was sitting there.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, well, I'm going to go do one. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to this place and do an episode there. And it's 3 sisters that run this place, and they're 5th generation. They were just like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, them, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents. Is that, is my math right?
Yeah.
That's nuts. And super cool. So the birth of the idea comes from where?
So my mom's mom and dad, Norma and Bob Trude, they originally had Corn Lily Farms, and unfortunately they've passed. We just lost my grandma about 2 years ago, but my oldest sister Emma and her husband Zach, and they have a 3-year-old Jace. They actually moved into her house out there west of Perry, and so we've always sold sweet corn. So my grandma would grow lilies out of her garden, and then my grandpa had sweet corn, and so they would take them to the Lawrence market and they would sell their lilies and their sweet corn. And so we've always just had sweet corn around, and this used to be my mom's insurance office. She has her own independent agency with AG Insurance, and she moved into a bigger building, and it wasn't selling, and we were like, well, we can just put the sweet corn in here because it's air conditioned, and because if you get sweet corn hot, it gets starchy, and then it doesn't taste very well.
Starchy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something I typically think of potatoes, or
it's exactly the same. Yep.
Oh,
so if
okay.
you think of like a really starchy potato, like a potato that's not cooked, corn, once it gets passed or it gets really hot and you cook it, then it releaches all of its natural starches. So like cornstarch, for instance. Yeah.
One of 50% of the recipe for a slurry, if you're familiar.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then when I'm cutting a raw potato and it wants to stick to the knife, that's the starch, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So what is it? Does it change texture and taste?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's, you bite into it, you know when it's starchy. Like it's like immediately like, I don't want this. Like it's gummy.
Ew, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. It's a gross texture.
Okay.
But yeah, so
sweet corn and lilies.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what my grandma and grandpa originally started with. So, Emma bought a single horse pull behind trailer, and we were like, well, we can just sell produce out of it. And then the idea came to bring it in here with the AC, and honestly, it's just bloomed from there. We know so many people who are in our area that are trying to accomplish the same things as we were. So we thought that why not just join forces together and put everyone into one place and just one building to have one place for everyone, because we found it was a lot easier to have an established place instead of, it's been great to hear customers say, well, I shop at Lone Pines Farm, which they have a store in just south of Lecompton, and then we have Stonehouse Creek Cattle Ranch. And so everyone has said that they go to them personally and get their goodies, but now they appreciate, everyone's busy with work and sports with their kids, that they just have one spot where they can come and get all of their goods. So. Okay,
so there's still actual agriculture happening in your family,
yeah.
But you guys are just doing corn still?
So I'll rephrase that. So my dad and uncle are on the original Gantz farms. So we raise cattle, we have row crop, we put up our own hay. So we're still very much a farm family through and through. But the sweet corn has always just been kind of a side thing. We're very outdoor garden, raising animals. Like, we are very much an agricultural family.
Sure.
And we've always had stuff in our gardens, and Emma started raising squash and pumpkins.
Okay.
And so, like I said, it's just honestly just grown. It's been amazing to see it happen so quickly.
I look around, and there's cantaloupe and watermelon and some beef products. And what's behind me?
Yeah, so behind you, there's living lettuce, green beans, cucumbers. We have Fanistol products out of Emporia. All kinds of peppers, and then homemade tapioca and eggs, and we have an amazing assortment of vendors.
Okay, so how many would you guess you have currently? Like double digits?
So as I'm looking around the room, so Corn Lily Farms is my sister's, and then we have Gray Cattle Company, Lone Pine Farms, Stonehouse Creek Ranch, Daisy Doos Doggy Treats, Cedar Corners Farms, Moonshine Production, Tez's Baked Goods, So Usefuls, and then Root River Farms, and then Half Creek Farms as well. They are our newest vendor with chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that post.
Yeah.
The post was something along the lines of You guys have been asking for chicken,
Yeah,
and
so
now
up at our checkout, we actually have like what would you like to see in the store, kind of a suggestion sheet, and we've had 3 or 4 of them filled out, and chicken's always been on there several times. So we've been planning on it, but the birds had to grow.
yeah.
And so we finally got them in, so it's been really good.
So whole birds.
Yeah, so we have whole birds, and then we have parts as well.
Okay.
So
and whoever is raising the birds, do they break it down for the parts piece, or do you guys?
No, so Heather had it done in Garnet.
Okay.
I can't think of the processor's name on the top of my head at
Sure.
the moment, but
Wow. So that's a dozen plus, right?
yeah.
And then for the folks that were like, we like to go to such and such for there, but now they can kind of one-stop shop it.
Yeah.
But is that place that used to get that business, are they like, are their feathers ruffled or no? Okay.
No, because like Lone Pines, for instance, they have their own storefront, and they feel like the people that come here, because we can only keep so many of their products on hand, right? And so if someone's looking for something more that I know that they have in their store, I'll send them down there. Or if they're at their store and they're like, do you know where I can find local grown watermelon or cucumbers or something in that nature, they'll send them up here to our store. So we're very much a close-knit relations up here with all of our businesses
Very
to
cool.
help each other out.
So what does it look like to establish a relationship with a vendor? Is there paperwork? Do you want to know the people, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so like I say, a lot of the vendors we all already knew and had good connections with, but we do have a vendor agreement to be in here. It's a $100 a month fee, so that strictly goes into just maintaining the building, electrical, water, because everyone had to provide their own freezers, shelving, all of that. So everyone had to bring in their own. So it's kind of just maintaining and helping keeping their stuff running in a way.
Sure.
And then we pay them twice a month, and
on sales of their product.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also keep back a 12% fee for our store, just for business purposes.
Yeah.
To businesses have expenses.
Overhead. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Nothing's free.
No, it's not.
I'm taking a whole bunch of your power right now, so thanks for letting me do that.
Yeah, of course.
So our and this vendor agreement, if somebody does it have a life to it? Is it a 12-month thing? If somebody is like, I don't know if this is working, how can they get out?
Yeah, so we generally do it in month periods. So once you sign it, you don't have to sign it every month. But say that, like for instance, our beef vendors, the 2 that we have, if it takes longer to get a cow ready for market than say it does a chicken. So if they have a 2-month period where they don't have any meat ready to be in here, we won't charge them for that 2 months because they don't have any product in here that they're selling.
Okay.
So it's like a grace period in a way. But yeah, so the 2 months, if they don't have any product in here, there's no charge to them at all.
Okay. Now I think I'm seeing Wagyu. Is that?
Yep.
Wagyu. Okay.
Yep.
I feel like there's 5 different ways to pronounce it. Now, is whoever brought you that product telling you that that's what it is? Mm-hmm. And how do they? That's a specific breed.
Yep.
It's not a situation where there has to be grading, like prime, choice, select. It's Wagyu.
Yep.
Is the breed, and do they have to provide paperwork to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What does that look like?
So grading, they still have grading, but it's different for traditional meat. So there's silver, gold, and then I think it's RCC Reserve. So that's the pure 100% Wagyu, and purebred Wagyu in the United States is very rare because it's originally from Australia.
Is it? Why did I think Japan? Japan, did they have their
I'm sorry,
own?
Japan. I'm sorry.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. I'm thinking Australia because of another thing. I'm sorry. Yes,
You're good,
Japan.
you're good.
I was about to fix it. But yes, no, it's
So
originally.
it is rare for sure, yeah. And so there does have to be some kind of paperwork to say
Yep.
you
So
can't just roll in and be like, this is Wagyu.
yeah.
Right?
Yep. So when they either take. There's two different forms of the way that you can get the Wagyu. You can either cross it like they do with an Angus cow and have it be a half and half. So you can either take the semen from the bull and put it in your cow herd, or you can get a Wagyu female. Traditionally, it's more taking the Wagyu semen that you can buy online, and then you put it in with your herd. So then you get your crosses that way instead. But when they take it to the locker plant, they have to show their registration papers that show the lineage of the cow family. And then the manufacturers or the locker plants are like, okay. And so then it gets graded out properly.
Okay. Wow. So you and your sisters, did you grow up as a non-farmer?
Yeah.
I have what I imagine that life to look like. Do you think that what your life looked like matches like the traditional, like you're up before the sun and there's chores, and by the time it's dark, everybody's just wiped out, and
Yeah.
what a day in the life kind of.
I definitely say that my life compared to my sister's was very different compared to how the farm was ran and the way that we all did things, because me and my sisters are, so for me and Emma, we're 13 years apart.
Right.
Emma and Morgan are 5 years apart, and Morgan and I are 8 years apart. So we all were together, but I totally, like, when I got to, like, my teens especially, I kind of felt more like of an only child at home with, like, mom and dad. So I had responsibilities, yes, but I felt like there was more on top of it because I was responsible for going and checking cows when we were calving. I was running equipment in the field. I was helping put up hay when very little. But my sisters all did the same thing. So, yes, we were very up early going and doing things because it takes a long time to do any process of it. Like baling hay, you usually mow it early in the morning and then you let it dry. But if you get it too dry, you got to wait for it in the evening so you can rake it and bale it so it's the right moisture so it stores properly. So it's just all about time frame, honestly. And so, like, Morgan and Emma, they did horses growing up a lot and basketball, but I showed pigs more instead of the sports side of it. So I was always up early walking my pigs and washing them. And so I had all of my own individual chores to do before I could go and then help my dad on the farm. So
They did horses and basketball?
yeah, so they would show horses and, like, did rodeo a little bit, but they would also play, like, basketball at school and stuff, and, like, travel ball and
Oh.
yeah.
Did they still get out there and shoot around, or
No, not really.
Yeah. Okay.
We've all just kind of moved on to the ag side of it.
Yeah. So what acreage wise, where your mom and dad still live at the same place?
Yeah.
How big are we talking?
Oh gosh, I don't know. We just kind of we're in the valley, so gosh, I don't even know. It's we spread out pretty far. So, like, our farm ground goes to, like, Grantville to, like, Lawrence. I don't know. We're spread out all over the Perry area, so
like dozens of acres, I would guess.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys would mess around with equipment, like machines that you drive and
yeah. So, like, just tractors, semis. I don't know. Just all the things that we'd use daily. Just honestly, and also depends on the time of year, what you're using. Harvest, your combines, you're using your tractors and your auger wagons and your semis with your grain carts. Hay season, it's your tractors with your rakes, your square bales and your round balers. The accumulators on the skid loaders picking up square bales. Like, there's all the things to make it all go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I know what mostly none of that is, but I'm picturing something, I'm imagining something.
Just picture them red and blue.
Okay, and expensive. I would suspect that each piece, because none of it's small.
No.
Right.
Nope.
To take care of a chunk of land.
Yep.
That size, we're talking a big old thing that you probably got to climb into, I would think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Was operating any of that or doing any of the chores? Was it ever scary or?
Honestly, I've done it since I was so little that it wasn't scary to me, because I was just here, go do this from a very young age. It's what I knew. I mean, I didn't know anything any different. Like in high school, I was very active in my FFA chapter, and I moved high schools to be in FFA. Because
I saw that on the Facebook page, FFA. What is that?
So FFA,
sorry, I should have Googled it.
No, you're okay. It's a organization that can be in high school, and they're starting to allow middle schoolers to be in it. But it's a very good leadership, public speaking program to help develop
Future Farmers of America. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what it used to be called, but now it's just the National FFA organization.
Okay.
Because it's more than just being a farm kid. Like there's job interviews, public speaking, prepared speeches, along with your CDEs, which are your career development events that are livestock judging, land judging, poultry judging, horticulture, vet tech. Like, it's so much more than just the ag industry. And I don't think people realize how in-depth the ag industry is in your life. Like, even if you don't think you're a part of the ag industry, you probably are, because it's so big and so important for our life.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just get really emotional about it because I'm so passionate about just feeding people. And when people come into the store and ask me questions about, like, how much grain does it take for a cow to gain a pound a day? And I say, well, you have to feed them 9 pounds for them to gain a pound, and a pig, it's 3 pounds for them to gain a pound. So it's really cool just to teach people all these new facts, and people that even have their own gardens that are like, how did you get this so big? And just teaching them all of the tips and tricks. It's just, I don't know, it's really heartwarming to see that people are going back to the more traditional ways of growing their own food. And it's been really fulfilling.
Cool. So when I think about being a young person and growing up on a farm, where my mind goes is that all of the non-sleeping hours of the day are spoken for. Mm-hmm. So what I can't wrap my head around is, how do you manage school and social things? How is there time for it?
To be honest, in high school, I went to school. I did my extracurriculars, which are just FFA, because I was a officer with our chapter, as well as being a district officer. But after that, I just came home and I did what I needed to do. I was feeding bottle calves, or I was taking care of sick cows, or I was walking my pigs. Like, I was very much, if I wasn't around somewhere, you could find me in the barn, because I'm such an animal person. And my mom and dad sometimes were always like, aren't you going to go see someone this weekend? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, hang out with friends.
Yeah.
Go to a football game. I don't know. Not much of that then for you?
No,
or?
not really. I'm going to be honest. They weren't very good.
Okay. What about your sisters? Did they have other, you said basketball. Mm-hmm. So they figured out a way to do non-farm things too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I would always go hang out with some friends always, but I was definitely more of the kid that I would just come home and I'd be in the barn, or like during harvest, it was just me and my mom. And so we would go to the barn and we would walk pigs together, or we would, my mom still has a couple horses, so I would help her with them, or I don't know. I'm just a very much family-oriented person, but I still went and hung out with friends and did all of the normal teenage things, though.
Okay, cool. So one walks a pig because if you don't, they won't get the exercise they need, or
So showing livestock has become a really, really big industry, and it's taken off a lot in the past 10 years. It's mainly at the 4-H level. You can only do it from when you're 7 to 18, and this is my first year that I haven't shown anything, and our Jefferson County Fair just happened, and I went to the show, and it was so weird. I was like, I feel like I should be doing something. Like, it was just the strangest feeling to me. But yeah, when you have your pigs, you get them from when they're like 50 pounds, and you have them all the way until their end point. So whether it's a breeding gilt, which they go on and they breed and they have more pigs, or their end goal is to go to market, which usually it's about 280, 275 is how much they weigh at that point. And so you're with them constantly. You're training them to walk with their head up and basically prance around in the ring so the judge can evaluate them and rank them off their best qualities. So, like, they'll look at how show ready they are, their muscle, their bone work, how flexible they are when they walk. They'll do that with cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs.
so these the ratings that they're going to get when they're shown. Is that because they're going to go to market, and then that puts value on them for you as the person raising them?
So not necessarily. So we have spring shows when they're little, and then we have the county fairs, which everyone, knows that when something goes to county fair, if it goes through the sale ring, it goes to market. So usually then, however they place, I'm just going to be honest, it doesn't really matter how they are going to be at the market. You could have the top pig in the class that looks the best, walks the greatest, but you could compare it to the pig that was last in class, that was hunchback, it couldn't walk, and you can compare them on the rail, and that last place pig could grade better than that first place, just because it's more presented and show quality ready. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be any different on the rail, but it is a big part of ensuring that we're keeping the industries moving in the right direction with our genetics and just efficiency, because we want to make sure that we're doing things in the most humane way that is efficient as well. So we're getting our product to our consumers in a timely manner.
Okay. Fascinating. So any idea how your folks met?
Oh, they went to high school together.
Okay.
My mom and dad did.
Around here?
Yeah, they both
Okay.
went to Perry Lecompton.
Okay. So Lecompton, that was kind of the last place that I came through before I got here. And
Yes. Which way did you come?
I came K10 to, I don't know what the next.
Eudora?
Yes.
And then to Lawrence?
No.
No?
Lawrence, and then
Lecompton?
Ottawa
Oh.
was there was a fork, and Ottawa was going to be this way, and I went that way, and then came through Lecompton.
Yep.
At the last minute, I passed I-70.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute, why did I? Anyway,
Yeah.
Lecompton was I had heard of it before, but it was bigger than I expected.
Yeah.
So
It's a little smaller than Perry, but
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they met in high school. Did they, when the day is, I guess, put to bed, did they put on music to listen to in the home ever? Or do you guys listen while you work?
Yes.
Okay.
We were definitely when we're in the feed truck or when we're in the barn or we're working or doing something, we definitely always have music around.
And what was the medium? Are you listening to the radio?
Usually the radio.
Okay.
With my parents. My parents are a tad bit older. And so I always would listen to my phone because, that's what I knew. But
How old are you now?
I'm 19.
You're 19. And
Yep.
when did you get your first phone?
Oh, gosh. 6th grade, maybe.
Okay.
It was more of the fact that we were in a field somewhere and it was someone needed to get a hold of me for a farming reason than they couldn't find me because they didn't know where I was. It was more of a work reason
Sure.
than like, hey, when you're done there, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the way back to your first phone, you had the ability to listen to music.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So is there, and I know that you were kind enough to share a list with me, but aside from that, is there an album that you first fell in love with or maybe purchased or borrowed from a friend that stands out?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm a very big country music lover, like the 90s and the newer Red Dirt stuff that they're starting to come out with.
Red Dirt.
Yeah, so like Zach Top and Zach Bryan and Coetzel and Flatland Cavalry and kind of that genre of people.
Okay. What is that? Is that an umbrella, Red Dirt? Like a
yeah.
And where does it get that name? Do you know?
I don't really know, to be honest. I feel like it's a tad bit more raspy than just a traditional country song, and it has a little bit of like rock influence in the music, just a little bit more than just your traditional just stringed guitar and some drums, you know.
Sure. What about live music? Did you ever, as a young person, go see shows?
Yes.
Anything stand out?
So for my 7th birthday, I went to the Topeka Expo Center and I went and saw Miranda Lambert and the Pistol Annies for my 7th birthday.
Wow.
I was on cloud 9.
And did your folks take you to that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, both of them.
Yep, my mom and dad and my sisters all went.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, from a young age, I've always loved Miranda Lambert.
Okay, cool. So, I did about 20 years restaurant, mostly back of the house, dishwasher all the way up to chef and running kitchens.
Yeah.
For the last 10-ish, I've been in distribution.
Yeah.
So there's always a lot of training that goes on, and they want the folks that are trying to sell the products to be educated on what they're selling as best as they can. And so we've had, I've been part of training where certified Angus beef families come in and tell their story, and learning about the ideal age for a cow and weight and the grading process, but also learning about you mentioned to grow a bird takes much less time than a cow.
Yep.
So when you're in this cycle, you need months to go pretty seamlessly, like a long string of months, and oftentimes it can and does, but there's also times where things don't go well, and it's crippling to just listen to the stories, let alone experiencing it. And so hearing, you again, as a non-farmer, you hear that farming is hard, right? And as a young person, you think, well, yeah, hay bales are heavy and equipment is expensive and so on and so forth, but you don't really think about the way that things can go sideways and threaten your family's livelihood.
Yeah.
Have you guys had some challenges or some scary moments along your time?
Yeah, actually, most recently, along the Kansas River over by Midland Corner, Lawrence wants to put in a solar farm, and all of that was going to be on our farm ground, and they were going to eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, wait.
Where the government wants to do something on personal property, and they can do it but they have to pay you. Is that how it works?
Yes.
And you can't really be like, nah, we want to keep your money. We want to keep things the way it is. You can't do that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, It's definitely devastating for us because it's one of our best farm grounds. It's not going to be detrimental to us, but it's just one of those things that get thrown in life that you're like, wow, this is like our best crop ground that we have, that we've put subtile irrigation on, and like we've got it to a point where it is making its top tier bushels, to then all of a sudden having the possibility of it being swept away is definitely heartbreaking. As well as, say, you take the time and effort to work your calves at spring, where you're castrating them, you're branding them, you're giving them all their proper vaccines and fly tags to make sure that they're not getting sick when you send them out to pasture and that they're in their best state, to then potentially having someone who has a sick herd from, say, flies or other insects that come in through their pasture, and Mother Nature, and it likes to spread everywhere, and so it comes over into your pasture, and so now all of your cows have pink eye too, and like if one person's going through it, everyone's going through it.
Kidding. Okay.
So it's not just my pasture has pink eye, like I'm fine. No, if you're going through something, more than likely your neighbor's going through it as well. Just like with the weather, with crops, when we're growing corn and soybeans, if we're in a drought, it's not just you feeling it, your neighbors are.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, some of those farmers have shared similar stories like that, where it's the weather just totally craters a year.
Yes.
Or, maybe Mother Nature's cooperating, but the cost of goods has gotten to a point where the margin that you might make off of a head or however,
a bushel,
makes it so you're like not sure if we're going to be able to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
You hear that kind of stuff, and you're like, man, these people that farm are nuts. That's that's high risk.
Yeah, it is. It's a high risk, thankless job is definitely true, but that doesn't make us want to do it any less.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the food service business, local has been a buzzword for a number of years now.
Yes.
And it's not a thing like a lot of trends that was a blip that came and went. It's, I mean, in some sense, it's peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's here to stay.
Oh yeah.
So can you distill the importance of it for you, your family, and farmers in general? Why buy local as opposed to the tomatoes that are coming from California, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so?
Honestly, the biggest thing I think is obviously your flavor is going to be way much better because everything's fresher. The cucumbers actually that are sitting behind you came out of my garden, and so did the green beans, and the lettuce is from Lecompton, and the ground beef is up 59 Highway. Like, you're supporting your community where you're living. You're supporting where your child is going to grow up one day. And so I feel like it's very important that you stick close to home because that's where you are. You're not in California with some big company who's making money off of something else and this is their tax write-off.
Right.
This is our life. This is literally all we do. And so it's just definitely a major thing. Like, you're supporting someone else's family as well as making sure that your own family is getting fed something that isn't full of excess goods and pesticides and all the different things that big companies put on their foods to make them look better in a grocery store. Yeah, I'll tell you right now that some of my peppers behind you and my cucumbers have sunspots on them, but that's nature.
Yeah.
It's natural.
So if I took a cucumber from your cooler and took it home with me and stopped at Hy-Vee or Price Chopper along the way and then got home and bit out of both, yours would have better flavor guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, another piece to the, and not to diminish anything what you're saying as far as the value of local.
Yeah.
But as long as it's been a thing that folks talk about, another piece has been carbon footprint.
Yeah.
In that, excuse me, if tomatoes are coming in from California or 500 miles away, the cost in dollars, but also in just on the environment.
Yeah.
Is that something that you guys carry in your heart too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is, because without the environment and without the land being in good shape, we can't do what we're doing.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely is something that we're trying to keep minimal and just keep flowing and just making sure that everything is happy and it's growing its best produce.
Sure. You mentioned the Kansas River a little bit ago, and I crossed it on a bridge.
Yep.
I don't see the Kansas River very often. Definitely not that portion of it. It looked really low.
Yeah.
Is it right now? Okay.
So, actually, Perry Lake lets out into the Delaware, and the Delaware goes into the Kaw River. So it's low at the moment. If you were here about 2 weeks ago, it was actually pretty high because the lake was letting out a lot of water from all the rain up north. But I would say it's down lower than normal, but it's pretty average to have a lot of sandbars.
So when one sees that a river looks low, is that guaranteed? Is that synonymous with light rainfall, and is that affecting what you guys do on your operation?
Just because the river's low doesn't necessarily mean we haven't had rain.
Okay.
Like I say, if you were here 2 weeks ago, you would have think there was a flood around here,
Oh, wow.
but it was just, water making its way back down south, and they were flowing out of the lake that they were letting water out so the lake didn't flood.
Gotcha.
Honestly, this year, though, has been a blessing with rain. We just had a rain Wednesday night in the middle of July, and our corn's done pollinating at this point, but it still needs water to grow, and our beans are at the point where they're starting to put on pods as well. So we're definitely been very blessed to have July rains.
Cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for having me out here and giving me a bit of your Saturday. I know we got rolling a little later than we initially agreed upon, but also thank you for sending me a list.
Of course.
Which I used to roll through them in chronological release order. So if we do that, we started in 2009 with Eric Church's Carolina, which is second of 7 for him. 15 tracks, 43 minutes. Country music artist out of North Carolina. He wrote a song inspired by my favorite movie, The Green Mile, and also got kicked off of the Rascal Flatts tour for playing too long and too loud, and was replaced by Taylor Swift. And he joked that you'll thrive on this tour, and you should give me your first gold record. And she did. I mean, I learned all that because I was not familiar with him until I put this record on and started reading up a little bit about him. So how did your ears cross paths with Eric Church?
So Eric Church has always been, my mom introduced him to me when we were going down the road traveling to pig shows. This was always our go-to album, where we would just crank it in the truck and we would just jam out going down the road. I don't know. It's just been a family favorite.
Love it. It was a fun listen. If memory serves, a lot of loneliness as a theme kind of running through this record.
A little bit. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Definitely say a lot of, growing up fast and, having to learn how to, figure it all out very quickly, which so in my family, I'm the only one my age. I either have cousins that are 30 years old, or I have now their children who are 6 and 2. So I'm the only one in my family, my age group. So I definitely feel like I grew up a lot faster than most kids my age, but I'm not mad at it at all.
Sure.
So
So Thursday night, at around 5, I got on 70 East to go to Columbia. I have a lady friend in St. Louis, and every once in a while we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And as I'm approaching the stadiums, everything is just standstill. And I was able to eventually kind of get around it, and then I hit another pocket, and I got past that, and then I get kind of over the horizon, and I see traffic coming westbound from the east. All the lanes are just standstill.
Oh no.
And it's all going to the stadium.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And so at one point, when I was stopped, I looked and I was like, well, the Royals are in Detroit, so it's not football season. So what's going on?
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
like, what in the actual? I remember seeing somebody post something about it earlier in the week. So I mentioned that I did an interview earlier today, and I was sharing the same story with this guy, and he's the editor-in-chief of The Pitch, if you're familiar with that newspaper.
I don't think so.
The Pitch KC, the digital, and actually they still print once a month. Part of his job, he gets basically free tickets to most any venue around the city.
That's cool.
So I was like, he's like, I mean, I do get tickets to like shows at Arrowhead, but I'm not going to go see Morgan Wallen. And I said, are you not a country? And he's like, no, I just not him. And so then I was like, okay. And then I looked it up, and I guess he's been in some trouble a couple of times.
Yeah.
And one of them, I guess Eric Church has a Chiefs bar in Nashville, and he threw a chair or something like that. And also, like, I had no idea really. I had maybe heard the name, but I guess he won one of the seasons of The Voice, and that's how he started. So are you, since their paths kind of cross, are you into his stuff? Or
I am. Honestly, I feel like that was more of on his own than just because he was with Eric Church.
Oh, they were together when that happened?
No, the connection of him being at his bar. I feel like I found his music more just because of his own, hearing it on the radio and stuff. But
good stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if he sold out 2 nights at Arrowhead, there must be some folks that are digging it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we, let's see here. Just a 2-year leap from 2009 to 2011 with Pistol Annie's.
Yes.
And Hell on Heels. First of 4 for them, 10 tracks, 30 minutes, quick and in and out.
Yep.
So Eric Church eventually winds up in Nashville, and Pistol Annie's as well. But their roots are Texas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. What's your discovery story for this one, and why did it earn a spot on your list?
So Miranda Lambert is in the group, and like I say, she was always been a big thing with me growing up. And so when I saw the group, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, why not? And they all sound pretty similar, and so I don't know. There's a lot of sass behind the songs, and I don't know. As a 7-year-old working on the farm, it's just like, okay, why not? So it's like, I don't know, just a little sass to go with my day.
So I didn't write them down, but they all have Annie nicknames.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then, like I said, this is first of 4. They put out a couple more, but then a couple of the solo careers started to take off.
Yes.
Have you kept tabs on those?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you just prefer them as a trio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, and I think the big thing was, like I said, I saw them in concert when I was 7. So, breaking it up is just like, that's just no.
Right. Well, this was so fun to listen to.
Right.
I loved it so much. Witty, great musicianship.
Yes.
I mean, there was more than one. I was driving when I was listening to it, so I didn't take any notes of the actual listen, but so the one thing that stands out is Trailer for Rent.
Yep.
Which, like I said, there were plenty of moments in the record that I enjoyed, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad that this made your list because I probably never would have heard it otherwise. So
Yeah, I can sing all of these word for word.
nice. So strangely, the fourth album didn't have like the first three just on their Wikipedia page were links, but the fourth isn't. Is there something peculiar about the fourth record?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
I don't even know if I ever heard it, to be honest with you.
Have you heard 2 and 3? Okay.
Yeah.
And are they equally good? Or?
Yeah, 2 gets really like sad.
Oh.
I'm like, meh. I try to stay happy. 3 is good. I don't know. To me, the original is just always the best.
It is really good, and,
Yeah.
and probably one that I'll revisit. So then we take a larger leap from 2011 to 2019 with Homeland, Insecurity.
Yes.
Flatland, Cavalry, second of 4 full lengths plus their EP. This one's 11 tracks, 44 minutes. Country and Americana band out of Lubbock, Texas.
Yep.
2 folks met at Midland College, and then the rest came aboard at Texas Tech University, which I think is where Patrick Mahomes went to. Yeah, right?
Yep.
To complete the lineup. And so talk to me about this outfit and why this one got the nod over their other 3.
So it was like December 8th, and they were playing at the Granada in Lawrence.
Great
and
venue.
Yes.
When I was your age and traveling up to that, it used to be called the Granasty.
Yes,
But
it's still the Granasty.
Well, I've heard they've remodeled, and it's less nasty.
Well, yeah, but it's still nasty.
Okay.
So I feel like the main reason that they made it on is I found these guys strictly on my own. It wasn't because my mom or my sisters listened to them. I felt like they were kind of the first people that I found on my own that I genuinely enjoyed, and then I shared it with the rest of my family, and they enjoy it too. But it's been a couple years now, but my oldest sister Emma and I and one of our good friends went and we listened to them, and I don't know, it just like resonated, like it just like felt soothing to me. I was like, and the guitar and the bass player and the fiddle, it was so good to hear live.
Now, so the 2 dudes from Midland College and then Texas Tech, the rest of the members, and one of them, was it Laura Jane? And but she's no longer in the mix. Is that right?
So I'm pretty sure that the main singer and her were dating. Now, see, I thought at one point that they were married, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I know it sounds terrible. They're like my favorite,
that's all right.
but I'm not like the crazy fangirl. Like I have to know everything about them.
Sure.
So,
But so is there still a female presence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
yeah. I can see the album cover. It's green and it has gold lettering on it. That she's in it, and those are honestly some of my favorite. And
Nice.
I harmonize with her really well when I'm singing in the radio in the car. So that one's pretty good too. But
Cool.
like I say, this was just the original one of them that I found, and I don't know. It just felt soothing to listen to.
Now you accidentally sent me the EP.
Yes,
but
I did.
There had to be, for you to see that and choose it, there had to be some kind of connection.
I'm gonna actually look at it at the second. I can't. On that one, it has 4 specific ones on it that
It's
are
got a
like,
real snazzy title, the
Yes.
EP. Songs
Yes.
to, I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. Maybe my phone will load. Sorry,
You're good.
I don't have any service in my building.
Can you go to our text thread?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Here it goes. Songs to keep you warm.
Yes, I love
that. There's 6 of them on here.
Okay.
mountain song is really good. So the lyrics of it are mainly talking about, like, yes, there's challenges in life and there's struggles, but just keep moving on and just thinking, like, there's people in your life that are, like, willing to help you get through them. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm a very family-oriented person, and agriculture is a very close-knit, all about relations, and I don't know. It's just soothing, like, it's just a reminder, like, yeah, things are hard, but there's tougher stuff out there, and you're going to get through it.
So you have, it's safe to say you have a relationship with songs to keep you warm and Homeland Insecurity as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, actually, my first year of college, I was on the livestock judging team, and we were traveling, going down the road, going to farms, and looking at livestock constantly. And we're in the judging van, and we're jamming out to all kinds of genres, you know, rock, R&B, country, hip hop, all of them. And yeah, sure, all of us, you know, like some hip hop, upbeat stuff. But when it really got time and down to it, all of us definitely felt like we were a group most together when we were listening to country music and, like, that red dirt area of the newer stuff that's coming out. Well, I will rephrase that. Some of the new stuff that's coming out, I am not a fan of at all. Like, Kane Brown, Luke Bryan, not a fan.
I thought everybody liked Luke Bryan.
No.
Okay.
And I am not a Swiftie.
Okay, that's fair.
1,000% never
Now,
have been.
the first, the names are escaping me, but the first two records she put out were countryer. Not even those?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, is that because you just want to not be, or you actually listen to them and you're like, this is not my cup of tea?
Both.
Okay.
Honestly, the first ones aren't that bad, but, like, they were just very, like, I don't know. They just were not my personality at all. And I was just like,
I hear you.
thanks.
Cool. Well, this is great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
These were really fun listens, and I appreciate it. I usually do a series of goofy questions to wrap, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
So the first one, are you familiar with a television program from some time ago called Fear Factor?
Yes.
Okay. Do you
Yes.
know what it's about?
Oh, yes.
Ish?
I love to watch it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, what would be the absolute worst case scenario Fear Factor challenge for Ella Gantz?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I definitely feel like I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I'm not really scared of much. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
I've
I don't know.
I've had somebody say
Probably-
smells. I've had somebody say heights.
Probably something like water. Like, if I'm underwater and I couldn't get out, oh, that would freak me out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like the ones where they're, like, in this tight little cage and they have so long to, like, break
No.
themselves free.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Same,
I'm out.
same.
I'm out.
Have you come across any select classic corny farming jokes in your days?
We all say we're a corny family.
Well, but you are.
We are, though. That's honestly kind of the big one, is we're just a big corny family.
Okay. No, when you meet folk, when you're a kid and you meet kids at school that aren't farmer, did they have cracks that they would make?
Oh yeah. I was definitely. You'd think in a more rural area there'd be more farm families, but all of the families around here, like I say, I was always just kind of my own age. Everyone had a lot older kids than me, so yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, you're the pig kid. Go play with the pigs." And I'm like,
boy, wow.
I'm like, "Ooh, so original."
Right. Now, you're an iOS user,
Yes.
right? And you have
Yes.
your red receipts off.
I do.
Is that by design?
Oh, see, I have them on for most people.
Oh.
I think select people, like my store one, I think I have on.
See, I didn't know you
I
could
don't know.
make.
Yeah, you can, if you go into the person's setting, you can go under them and, like, in
Oh.
their text, and you can say red receipts on or off.
But okay, so normally you have them on.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have an opinion about it either way.
I mean, there's this cool thing if you like read it, you can go back and say mark unread and it'll take it away.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my
like
gosh.
my mom, she said, call me when you head home. I can swipe out of it and I can click mark is unread. Sorry, Mom. I love you.
And then it goes from read at 8:47 to delivered?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in that same vein, sort of, is it okay in your book to like your own social media posts?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not talking about if Ella Gantz goes in and likes a farm to fork post. I mean, you post something as Ella.
Oh, yeah.
And then you like it.
Like my Instagram stuff, like I'll be like, ha, I'm the first to like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I am.
All right. Fair enough.
Or like if I go to someone's profile and like something they posted a long time ago and I've liked it and the like doesn't stay, I'll go back and re-like it.
What is that all about?
I don't
That's
know.
not been forever that is.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because especially in the last handful of months, I'll see it gives me. I'm not even really scrolling much,
Yeah.
but it gives me a post, a very specific post by a person, and I know that I liked it, and my like isn't there.
Yeah, because I like to like them because they'll like save, and so I just make sure I like them so that I save them.
Okay, all right. So you get to have lunch with anybody you're choosing, dead or alive. Who are you choosing and why?
My gosh, I don't know. Probably my grandma.
Okay. Is this mom's mom or dad's mom?
Both, honestly.
Okay.
My mom's mom is the one I just lost. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
She was like my best friend. But I would definitely love to meet my mom's mom because he lost her when she was pretty young.
Really?
So I've always wanted to know what she was like. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, just my grandparents in general.
Sorry,
that got.
I love. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
It tells me that there's not that I needed convincing, but it tells me there's some real stuff in
Yeah.
there. So, which is good. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're given the ability to visit your past self, any age you're choosing. What age are you choosing, and what are you saying?
Probably me when I was 10.
Okay.
Definitely for me from now to when I was 10, very different people.
Oh, really?
Very different
Okay.
people. I would just say like little things aren't as important as you think they are, and
Oh.
just to like learn to go with the flow a little more.
Okay. I like
And
that.
It's okay that not everybody is going to agree with your opinions.
Right on.
It's like it's okay to be different. Like I say, I was always used to like, oh yeah, I'm the farm kid, like, and I didn't want to play sports, and I was okay with that. And I would go home and I would do what I needed, and I'd go to school and I'd do what I needed. I don't know. That's just always been my thing. But yeah, I would definitely tell my 10-year-old self that it's okay. Everything works out.
I love it. Please complete this for me. The
Okay.
world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only...
I was able to keep all of my Duroc gilts. They're my favorite.
Duroc.
Durocs. They're a
The
breed
breed
of
of-
pig.
yeah.
Yeah, they're actually, it's on my cup.
So I know that word. What's the word that came after it?
Gilts.
Gilts.
So the females.
Okay.
Yep. And
Because
then,
they're like your home girls or something?
yeah, honestly though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, I spend, gosh, hours and hours and hours of time with them, and their personalities were just great. And then actually the gilt that I was reserve at Kansas State Fair with, she just had a litter of pigs, and they just got weaned, what was Sunday, I think?
Okay.
So it's definitely just cool to like see that I've raised this animal to then now she's having her own. It's just definitely
Wild.
such a
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
full circle moment. And like my heifers that I've shown, I have one, Her name is Fat Patricia. And she is awesome. We go up into the pasture, and actually my brother-in-law was filling up creep feed, and she'll still go up to him and just like rubbing with her head and is like, hey, give me scratches. Like,
Creep feed?
yeah, so it's what we feed the calves while they're in the pasture, just to help grow and raise them. It's usually a oat base with like cotton seed hulls and corn and oats, and it's just an extra kickstart and to relieve them off of their mom with their still milking.
Okay.
Because they're growing so fast and they need a certain nutritional value, and so supplementing that in is a relief on their mom as well.
Gotcha. Well, we definitely want to give shouts out to Fat Patricia then.
Yes, I love her.
Oh, man, this is great. Perry, Farm to Fork. You've got the Facebook page and then the other Facebook page that you're trying to remedy.
Yes, if you're following, I think it's the page. I get them so mixed up.
They look so similar, but one is like you can friend request, but the other you can like.
Yes.
Right? And I don't know what the difference is.
So I have access to the page, which I think is the one that everyone needs to follow.
Okay.
Instead of the profile, because the profile you can only have so many followers, but the page you can have as many as you need because you just like it.
And you have 4,000. What was it? 5,000?
I think we're at 5,000 now.
5 and growing.
And that's your cap. So we're definitely trying to switch everyone over to the profile.
Okay, cool. 605 Cedar Street here in Perry, Kansas. Closed Mondays. Perry Farm to Fork at gmail.com. If you want to give the place a buzz, 785-379-3650. Is there anything that you had hoped we would cover that we did not?
I don't know.
You guys going to get a website up and going? Or
yes.
Okay.
We actually, I think it's just launching.
Okay. What about Instagram? Are you going to do that?
Yes.
Okay. You sound...
It's just been a process.
Sure.
We've been worried about the store more than socials. We figured Facebook's a good place to start. But the great thing is now that you can link a Facebook page and an Instagram page. So we can...
Cross posts?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So it's definitely in the process.
You ran a shift today. You were here all day, right? And are you here all 6 of the open days?
Yes. Usually Sundays, I be like, hey, Morgan, Emma, I need a day off.
Yeah.
Because even though we're closed on Monday, that's still usually a restock day. So we try and restock when there aren't customers in here, and so we can get all of our inventory in. But yeah, usually Sunday and Mondays are my down days. But that still doesn't mean I'm at home sitting on the couch.
Right.
Like,
so
I'm still helping Dad.
You're getting ready to go tackle your sophomore year of school.
Yes.
How are they going to manage the load in your absence?
We haven't quite figured it out yet.
Okay.
I think Amanda Johnson, she's also been in here with me during the weeks. She's going to be in here, and then I don't know. We're figuring it out.
Okay.
We have 2 weeks.
You said today was a good day sales-wise.
Yeah,
Does that mean
it's been
there's
a great day.
A lot of foot traffic most of the open hours?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your point of sale? How do you charge folks?
Yeah, so we use Square.
Okay.
And so it's really nice to keep all of our vendors' inventory separated, and we can do variances within them. So like, say we have a flavored patty and we have multiples of it, we can just put it under one category and we can click it and then click the flavor, and then so we know we've sold more cheddar and jalapenos better than, say, honey barbecues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the restaurant food service operation world, a big thing is your P&L, your profit and loss statement.
Yes.
Are you guys, is somebody crunching numbers and saying, hey, we are turning a profit, and you can see profitability item to item, so you know where you're doing all those things?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's, Amanda's been a amazing saving grace in wanting to do all of that and understanding the more fine lines and the basics of Square, and it doing most of the work for you.
So shouts out to Amanda Johnson and Fat Patricia,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes. Amanda is with Cedar Corner Farms. She's great.
Okay, cool. Right on. Well, this has been
Yeah.
so fun. I appreciate the time, and best of luck
Thank
in
you.
the
Thank
coming
you.
semester.
Yes, I'm super excited.
I'm sure that your sisters are already looking forward to when you come home for break, so
Yes.
they can get
Yes.
you back in here.
They're already like, so what weekend can you come home? I'm like, well,
Did I tell you I'm not taking a car? You have to come get me.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, and this has been a pleasure, and I'll talk to you
Yeah,
soon.
sounds great.